What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of KO Your Brand. Pulling punches, actionable takeaways, real results. This is a quick hit episode designed to give you major impact on your personal brand and business. Today, I'm talking about a conversation that was actually all the rage inside the Fame Ready Entrepreneur program. And I have to give a shout out to House of Nia. Nia is a guest expert that came into the Fame Ready Entrepreneur program a couple weeks ago to share some amazing advice on how to more easily convert our audience creating profitable personal brands, which I just love. So, a very, very interesting conversation came up during that podcast episode, and I just had to share it with all of you today. And this is something that we've been talking a lot about on my group coaching calls inside the Fame Ready Entrepreneur program as well. But it's just so juicy. I had to share it with all of you, even though you're not in the program, but you should be. But this is going to give you a taste of some of the things that we talk about. So, when Nia did her presentation for all of us inside the program, I asked her what is the biggest mistake she sees business owners making when it comes to making it really hard for our audience to buy from us. And Nia said something really, really interesting, which I didn't expect. Nia said that she sees a ton of entrepreneurs not effectively using Instagram highlights to sell the services that we offer. And I have to tell you guys, I felt so called out because I realized in that moment, my highlights are not selling anything. So I know that we all likely know what Instagram highlights are. But if you are new here, I'm sure on YouTube, Heather will do a little screenshot thing showing you where they are, just in case people are, new to Instagram or really looking to understand what the verbiage is. I can appreciate we don't always know what things are called. So we were talking about Instagram highlights, and I just wanted to share what I had learned from my conversation with Nia on how to improve them and what I'm going to do to improve mine, along with some of the advice that I gave to the Fame Ready Entrepreneur Program clients, because on our group coaching call after that guest expert session, I started to audit the highlights of the woman in the program because, I think we all learned a lot that day that we're missing out on an amazing opportunity to sell, which happens because we're always trying not to be so salesy, right? But honestly, are we running charities or are we running businesses? Because we got to sell. That is what we are here to do. So, Nia said that people are not using the highlights section effectively to sell their products or services. And I was like, holy shit, you're right. Because, I'm going to tell you, I'm like, kind of sound like I'm having a stroke right now because I have so many thoughts at once. Um, I'm okay, just chaotic. So, what Nia had mentioned was if someone's interested in working with you, they're going to look at your highlights to try to get a feel for more information on your services or your products, that sort of thing. So if your highlights are just vibes, which guilty, mine are all vibes right now, then we're not using the opportunity to provide a little bit more information that might actually sell someone quite seamlessly into our products or services. And that is how we can get clients coming to us already sold. I do a lot of selling in the DMs, obviously. Like I've really tried to reduce the amount of discovery calls that I do. I only do them for people that are interested in joining my one-on-one program and making a larger investment in themselves. I had to make that switch because my calendar was getting tapped out and just not having enough time to really dedicate to the things that I need to. So I made that swap. And that's also because my group program, my Fame Ready Entrepreneur program, you can DM me about it. You can ask me your questions. You can email me your questions. But there's so much information about it out there that I do not need to get on a call to give you all of the information that you need. And just to be totally frank, that program is $1,600 USD. If you need a 30-minute discovery call or even a 15-minute discovery call to make a $1,600 USD investment in your business, Unfortunately, that's just not the type of client that is quite right for me and my programs. I mean, I spend $1,600 USD on a hotel room that I've never seen before. Sorry, but it's true. So that's just as we level up the boundaries we have to put in place in our business. But with that said, I am missing an amazing opportunity for me to add an Instagram highlight that just gives more information about the Fame Ready Entrepreneur program. And the best part about this is I probably don't even need to re-record anything. I think I've posted so much content about it on my stories as I sell it, as I launched it, that I can just go back and just add them all from the archive, which, okay, I still haven't done it yet. And now I've had like a week to like sit on this and mull about it. So after I record this message, that is what I'm going to go do. And so if you're listening to this, you can head on over to my Instagram profile to see what I changed. And you're really going to see just how easy it is to just go back into your archive, your Instagram story archive, and look at all of the times that you talked about your program and add them. And if anything is missing, like if you're like, okay, I need to add a little bit more context about this, or I need to add a little bit more context about that, that gives you a great excuse to show up and sell something or talk about an aspect of your program or your offering. That's like an Instagram story prompt, basically. And you don't have to tell people that you're recording it for your highlights. Just record it like you're popping up to sell something and then add it to your highlight from the archive. And that was one of the things that came up in the conversation with the Fame Ready Entrepreneur clients was, how do we add things to our highlights without it being awkward on stories? And I'm like, just use it as an excuse to sell. We don't have to say that I'm recording this for it to go in the highlights. We can just record it. People think we're popping into to sell or share more about part of our program. Then you add it to your highlights on your own. And that's the beauty of this, I think. It's like killing two birds with one stone. So that's what I'm going to do. I am actually going to do one for my group program and then one for my one-on-one program. My problem is right now at the time of my recording, this my Instagram highlights is like all vibes. I have like one for golf, one for fashion, one for vacations, which from a personal brand lifestyle perspective, those really are my core pillars. But those are my core pillars as they appeal to my ideal client. So I attract ideal clients who have great style, who care about aesthetics, who like a good vacation, who want to build international personal brands, who are interested in luxury lifestyle sports like golf or tennis. I'm not a tennis player, but just to give you more about how I personify my ideal client. So that's why those things are important, because they immediately kind of show my vibe, but I can't prioritize vibes over sales. So I'm going to keep those highlights because I like them. At the end of the day, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's my own Instagram. So I'm going to keep them there, but then I'm also going to make sure I'm doing my offers justice and also adding information on my one-on-one program and my group program on there as well. And if I start launching like other things, like I know I talk about the pitch kit and some of my other offers, I've never formally launched that. I've just offered it in different bundles and through different summits. So if you're like, hey, I want to learn more about the pitch kit, I hadn't heard about that before. It is my low ticket resource that helps you learn how to pitch yourself. And you can head to the show notes to get more information on that if that's something you're interested in. So the other thing that came up, I mean, obviously, we are talking about service-based businesses for the most part when it comes to a personal brand. So the advice that I gave the Fame Ready Entrepreneur girlies is make a highlight for each individual service so you can really get into the details on what it is. For my founders of product-based businesses, when I audited their Instagram highlights, what they were missing was the opportunity to create the highlights like a catalog. So if you have different product categories or different product types, I would recommend doing a highlight for each one and then showing off the product in as many ways as you possibly can. So I have this idea in my head right now of a brand that I know that offers like a bunch of different kind of golf apparel. So like socks, hoodies, club head covers, that sort of thing. with that brand in mind, because this is a brand that I've been really attracted to online, but I want to see more of their product in action or in like real customer photos before I feel convinced to buy. So they have an amazing opportunity to like set up a highlight for each product type. So they do a lot of different fun socks. They should have a highlight that's all the socks. And this is great too if clients are sharing photos that don't necessarily fit the vibe of your feed or your aesthetic. Post them to the stories so people can still see them, and then share them to your highlights so then they act like a catalog. Because just because something doesn't match your brand aesthetic because it doesn't use the same photo filter or whatever, it doesn't mean it can't be a great image that actually convinces someone who's been on the fence to buy the product. So this is what I said to all my product-based founders in the program. I was like, you got to start treating highlights like a catalog. Give your ideal client lots of different things to look through so they can really like see the variety of product that you offer. So that is what I'm planning to do this afternoon, heading over to my highlights and giving them a little bit of a refresh. The other thing that I noticed just best practices wise is sometimes we let our highlights get outdated. So I noticed this when I was auditing the highlights of some of the women in the program. It's like they hadn't posted on them since like 2022, 2023. And outdated anything just makes our brand feel stale. So if you do have highlights on your Instagram profile, just make sure you're updating them regularly. And if you're not using it anymore, just delete it. No one's going to miss it, right? So if you liked this type of content, this is what we do inside the Fame Ready Entrepreneur Program. We are always looking for little ways to elevate our personal brand so we can start to build a profitable personal brand. And obviously, making the buyer journey is part of that process. So that's it for me today. If you want me to take a look at your highlights and do my own little audit, ooh, this is so good. DM me on Instagram at Katrina Owens PR or send me an email if you know what my email address is. I mean, it's not hard to find. I'm not going to say it on this podcast, but feel free to send me an email if that's better for you. And I will audit your highlights for you. Okay, just to give you a little bit of a taste of the type of thing that you can expect in the Fame Ready Entrepreneur Program. So if you're interested in learning more about the pitch kit, the Fame Ready Entrepreneur Program, head on down to the show notes to click the links and get more information on that. DM me, email me if you want me to take a quick look at your highlights and give you my own personalized feedback. And rate and review this podcast anywhere you listen and watch your favorite podcasts. And I will see you all next week. Bye.